This is the AK-47. It is the preferred weapon of your enemy. It makes a very distinctive sound when fired. Ha! Name that movie. Man, that is a lot of trees. Gotta get those all on the ground. Oh, let's see how heavy this is gonna be. Not too heavy. This is definitely turned it into a ranch truck. I carry everything in it. Oh, you can tell which side the roots are on this one. The work that I needed to do this week before these showed up included working out in the field and dealing with the irrigation ditch that I need to put in for the control wires. But it's been so wet. I mean, really wet. For us, extremely wet. I haven't needed to be out working in the mud. There's no point in doing that. So I've been catching up on some printer work, some redesign on the grow walls. Not really the most exciting thing to record, but with these trees showing up, I think rain or shine tomorrow, I'll be out there putting them in the ground. They come all wrapped with moisture packets inside of them to actually keep them pretty moist. So we're not gonna have to worry about that. We're beyond the freeze, so we don't have to worry about that. Biggest problem is just fitting them all in the truck. And then digging a lot of holes. It's gonna come down, it's gonna barely. Oh, it is gonna come down to one. But you know what, I gotta make another trip anyway, so let's get this unloaded. Well, here we are, we're over at the greenhouse, neighbor's house. The neighbor's greenhouse at the neighbor's house. And it turned out really nice. It looks really nice around there. I like it. We're gonna go inside here, get some watering done, and I'll show you the plants and how they're all coming along. But we're starting to get some nice plants. There they are. These were starts, these are tomato starts. And you can see they're turning out really nice. And these were, I think they're tomato seeds right there. And also some basil that's been put in here and some other things that I can't remember. I think there's a basil. That looks like basil to me. And they're all coming to life. How tall that guy is. And there's, I think that's a nasturtium, edible flower. So right now, we come down every day, water at least once a day. Usually I'm down here working, but because it's been so wet, I'm just coming down here once a day and watering in here. The garden is getting really great water right now, and with all those wood chips on it, just the soil underneath them is going to stay so nice and wet. It drains really well. It's one of the challenges is the water goes through the soil really quickly. It either evaporates, or it just drains. Now in the summertime, once it hardens, see it's different dirt. Once the dirt gets hard, it has completely different properties. It turns into like a cement, which is something I think we're going to use to our advantage in a future project. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in this video. We had to do some testing first. But anyway, with the rain we're getting, it's great right now. Really, it's an answered prayer. It's actually making everything a lot easier on us. So who says God doesn't answer prayers? I'm telling you, he does, folks. He does. It's all about where your heart is at. We always talk like if you pray to win the lotto, you're praying for the wrong thing, you know. A lot of people pray expecting God to do what they want them to do, what they want him to do. But that isn't how prayers work. You got to be in him. You following his word. It ain't about you. Your problems for sure, but if you're telling God how to solve your problems, you've got the wrong relationship. That's not how that works. That is clearly putting yourself as your own God. And anyway, enough of that. So, we're watering. We're here, we're watering. We're making it all beautiful. I'm always scared. Some things looks like we might have some leftover roots from when I rototilled everything in here, or maybe some, you know, seeds left behind from some of the weeds and grass and all that. But I hesitate to pull anything until we see a lot more maturity, because I'm not the foremost expert on plant identification when they're in their young phase. Some of them I can, like basil. That's because we grew microgreens, but like really identifying plants, nasturtiums I can do because we also grew those, and they have a very distinctive leaf. This is the AK-47. It is the preferred weapon of your enemy. It makes a very distinctive sound when fired. Name that movie.
This is the AK-47 assault rifle, the preferred weapon of your enemy, and it makes a distinctive sound when fired at you, so remember it.
See, the distinctive leaf made me think of that. Do you see how that works? My brain. I think our soil's staying, yeah, it's staying nice and moist in here too. It's not, since we haven't had a lot of sun, it's warm in here, but the soil is not drying out like it was when we had all that super sun. Soon we'll be able to cover up these open exposed plants because they'll be coming up far enough where we can put the wood chips around them and let them do their thing with the wood chippies protecting them. We want to cover up as much of this soil as we possibly can for the reasons already stated. It's all about retaining water this year. Next year and this fall when we're doing this, it'll be a lot more about getting all the nutrients back in the soil. We added that 50-50 mix this year, so I think we're going to be fine. If it's anything like our garden last year, that 50-50 mix does a great job. But next year we're going to have to add and kind of probably mix the wood chips with the compost, maybe even this fall, I think. Like come down, get a bunch of compost in here, and then mix it all and let it decompose over winter, because it's not just about wood chips. The wood chips do bring minerals up. If you think about trees, actually, it's pretty amazing. When I was learning about this method, it really is amazing. Like I was always wondering, where do the minerals come from? Where do the minerals come from, you know, for the soil? And when you think about it, trees have access to all the minerals that are deep down in the earth because their roots go so far down, way further down than any of our edible plants here. So if you get a big old tree, like what we harvest for lumber and all that, you know, it's been there for 30 years, those roots go down a long way. And they're pulling up a lot of minerals from down below as part of the natural geological cycle, and they're bringing it up to the top. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. God's creation is amazing. All right, there we go. We're watered up. So in the distance, you can see the post for where the grapevines are at, and the orchard for all those trees is going to be on this side of it. And it's going to be exactly in parallel. So it's going to be really, really beautiful once we get all those trees in.
We need to brush hog all of that. Well, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. Here's a view from over at the greenhouse. I got all done brush hogging. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm up on top here. There's the vineyard right there. See, we got some additional lines put in. And then here's where the orchard's going to be. I also have the beginning of a trench put in for the controls for the irrigation. I was working on the irrigation in the control box that we got, which we had hoped would work. It was a wireless one. You didn't have to have wires. It confused me. And it says it's 24 volts DC, which I assume meant it controlled valves that were 24 volt DC, which is what we have. But I was way wrong. It only controls 9 to 11 volt valves. So I got it all installed and it didn't work. So now I've got to run wire, which I was hoping not to do. In order to do that, I put the box blade behind the tractor and just put one tine down and actually put in a scar that I can easily dig out. I don't have to use the trenching tools or anything. It'll be a little bit of physical labor, but not bad. I've walked up while I was talking here to the top of the orchard area. Here's where the last row is at. You can see the stake way down there. The first one, that's where the first row is at. And you can also see how windy it is out here, and I hope you can hear it. So this time I want you to, I got the audio for effect here. It is really super duper windy. You can see that tree. My plan today was to plant the or bad luck. We've had no success. We've had bad luck up here with trees and wind. When the wind is blowing like this, it means that a weather system is changing, and we're supposed to change to like really nice warm weather, but this wind is really cold and it's really hard. So I'm gonna abort the orchard planting today, because if I put these trees in today, they're just gonna get windburn and die, more than likely. That's what we had happen to our previous trees that we've tried. I'd rather have it be a nice warm day, which I think tomorrow is going to be, or even raining, to do this planting. So I'm gonna take a break on this and get back up and see how our prints are doing up there. But man, it kind of putting a damper in the day here, but it is what it is. It looks good. It looks good when it's all taken care of and manicured. Same with the vineyard here. You see I mowed it as well, and it's just going to look good when that all fills in next year with grass. It's just going to be beautiful.